It's time to do my daily challenge of seeing what will come out of my mouth. Walking out here, this nice nature, solitude. Yeah. See what percolates, comes to my mind. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. Fucking gnats are everywhere. Could do without the gnats. It's kind of like life, you know. It's kind of like people. I could do without obnoxious people in the world. But you know what? I'm learning to not let them bother me. Because unconscious people are very predictable. Because they're all sort of, they say, you know, like, it's always the same shit that comes out of their mouth. It's always the same kind of, like, yeah, very predictable, low-hanging fruit attacks. And you know, you can always see that it's motivated essentially by, like, this, you know, they feel uncomfortable, like, oh, like, this person is, like, acting weird. Like, this person is doing something strange. You know, I want to do something. I want to do all these things. I want to be like this person, but I don't have the courage to do it myself. So I'm going to have to, like, I got to put this other person down because, you know, they're doing something. How are they allowed to do it when I'm not? So, you know, it's like envy. Envy is an interesting thing because on the surface of it, it would appear that envy is about, you know, like wanting something that somebody else has. But in truth, envy is all about hating something so much that you don't want anyone else to have it. But, you know, also you sort of secretly want it yourself. And yet you can't stand it because some part of, you know, because some part of you is like too much of a liar to really allow yourself to be who you want to be. So envy is all about, fucking gnat just flew right in my eye. Envious of the liquid in my eyes. I guess it just wanted to commit suicide into my eyes. Holy fuck, man. These fucking flies are following me around. It's annoying as fuck. It's a good challenge. It's a good challenge to be to stay, you know, like, because like part of what's annoying in the world is, you know, not only the thing that is irritating to our senses, but, you know, the greater part that's annoying is our response, you know, to these, it's our trained sort of reaction of being like, God damn it, why is everything against me? You know, like, or why is this so obnoxious? You know, why are these flies so fucking annoying? You know, it's like, and then we sort of generate more feelings that are unpleasant. Unknowingly, we're like sort of creating this reality of annoyance and this experience of greater annoyance when, you know, if we sort of accept what is, you know, we can deal with reality as it is, and then sort of accept, okay, this is the reality. How do I want to interact with it? How do I want to approach it? So yeah, that is something that is very obvious in some ways, but it's also seems to be occult knowledge in other ways, because, you know, there's not many people who are willing to sort of sit with their feelings and pay attention to them and see, like, the source of their irritation is largely, you know, determined by their own sort of relationship with themselves. And, you know, they sort of, you know, we sort of try to control our environment and make it comfortable to us. But, you know, the truth is, you know, we evolved inside of a harsh world. You know, we evolved in jungles filled with poisonous plants and obnoxious insects and snakes and spiders and poisonous centipedes, you know, and we evolved in times of ice ages, you know, where it's so fucking cold that we die, you know, from hypothermia and, you know, frostbite. But, you know, in these past times, you know, what made it possible for us to survive is we had each other and we had our love. And even if our lifespans were short and filled with, you know, untold hardships, we were able to depend on each other. But now, you know, we face a different demon entirely. We have comfort, we have relatively easy lives, but we have to face it all alone. And so this is, you know, bringing forth an age where a different type of strength is required. You know, strength of like profoundly strong individuals, because it takes a lot of strength to want to continue moving forward and to want to, you know, put our finger on the scale to tip the balance in a direction that we want, because it's very easy to just go into a state of sleepwalking through life and, you know, try to forget our problems through all this, you know, essentially endless media that we have access to. And you know, to like get up out of our chairs and go outside can require, you know, we have to overcome a tremendous amount of inertia, you know, emotional inertia of like a world that has repeatedly fucking told us that we're not worth anything and that we don't really have anything to offer, and that, you know, the best thing that we can hope for is like a very sedate life of fucking doing nothing and just absorbing the shit that, you know, is generated out there in the world. So, you know, yeah, I mean, we live in a heroic age of, you know, a type of challenge, I would say, that is more difficult than anything that nature has ever been able to throw at us, in terms of discouraging us and making us feel like, you know, like why live at all, you know, because it's like, you know, on the one hand, you know, we want to have these meaningful relationships, we want to have a meaningful life, we want to have an impact, and yet, you know, society just tells us, there's no use for you, we don't need you. You know, everything nowadays, you know, can be produced easily in a factory somewhere in some fucking country that you've never seen. It can be generated with artificial intelligence. So, you know, what good are you? What good are you to society, you know, when all the things that you know are the, you know, things that are valuable about you are being, you know, you're being replaced by machines and by cheap labor and whatever, you know. It's just, and you don't own anything. You're not it's very difficult to own anything in society anymore. You know, everything is owned by corporations, and, you know, who owns corporations? Some stockholders that you know, are disconnected really from the product that is being produced. So there's all these like different layers of, you know, bureaucracy and corporatocracy and, you know, artificial intelligence and technology, and it's like it's all working against, you know, essentially making us feel like we have any value in this world. And so, you know, to challenge this, to say, you know what, the world is telling me I'm meaningless, I'm worthless, and then to continue to striving forth to, you know, be a creative person, to be somebody, you know, who's productive and decides to, you know, contribute something of their heart, you know, because all these things, all these structures, all this artificial shit, all this, you know, algorithmic approach that the world has created and seems to be so proud of, it can produce a lot of, things in the material world, but, it can't replace what gives meaning to life. What gives meaning to life is each other, what's in our hearts, our feelings, our love for each other. It's very disheartening to grow up in this world, because we're told in so many ways that we don't have any value, that we should just be like everyone else and get on the conveyor belt and shut the fuck up about it, and be a nice office worker or whatever, to do our endless studies and education to become these robots in society, because human beings are slowly but surely emulating algorithms and robots more and more, as we go throughout this period in history. But that's going to be unsustainable, because at some point, people are just going to, either we're going to destroy this world, or we're going to wake up. So it's like, those of us who are intelligent enough to see, those of us who live in our hearts and our feelings enough, we need to come forward, however useless it seems, however pointless this our venture forward, however daunted we've been, and however we've been told in so many ways that we don't have any value. We are the ones, we are the warriors who have to wake up and stand strongly, not against what is going on, but for what we are as human beings, and to remind other people, what it means to be a human being. So, if you're somebody who's, spent a lot of time in solitary confinement like I have, like many of us have, you feel like something is wrong, I would encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone and to start, living by example. Every day, challenge yourself a little bit to be more, to make a connection with humanity, to show other people how to feel, how to be, and whatever approach you decide, every small step in the right direction is still a step in the right direction. So, try to shut off some of these addictions that we've all been trained to take part of. Try to live a healthier life. Try to start moving away from things that are just sucking up your energy and your time, and really producing a long, meaningless life for you. And then, in the absence of that, you will discover, what you're going to discover some strong feelings. They're going to tell you to go back into hiding, go back into your little cage. But, beyond that, if you can stay with it, things will emerge about your nature, and you'll realize that you're capable of far more than you've been told by probably everyone in your life, and that within you is a specific key to this reality, and we all have our key, and we all need to put it into the into the lock. We all have our lock, and together we need to unlock this trap that we've created through technology, because if we don't, it's not a world that I want to imagine. So even if we suffer greatly in the process, there's nothing worth more than doing our part, contributing what we have to give, and discovering what we have to give to this world, and living a more meaningful life, and creating communities again, and creating a society again that is based on love and cooperation and respect and honor and beauty. That is what means something to the world. A spirit that flows through us. The true intention of nature. Let that flow through you. Don't let yourself be co-opted into mechanical life, a mechanical, dull existence. Be a human being, be courageous, be somebody. When you go to bed tonight, at least, do something that made you feel like you moved forward a little bit. If you go to bed tonight and all you did was, consume the garbage that is being put out there, I know that feeling. I've lived a long time with that feeling, and all I can tell you is it feels much better to do one good thing in the day and than it does to just endlessly dissipate my energy, our energy, into a meaningless void of just being a passive bystander. So do something that makes you feel like you've done something courageous. Do something that made you feel like you moved forward. Maybe you failed. Maybe you made a fool of yourself. Maybe you've been humiliated. Maybe people laughed at you because you tried something. But don't take that as a sign of failure. Take that as a success. You know what? Because people, they don't understand who we are, but we need to show them. And when all these people say no to us, we need to say yes to ourselves. So I don't know what form that will take for many of you, but it's up for you guys to figure that out. So anyhow, this has been my sort of daily challenge to open my mouth and start talking to a camera. And this is part of my sort of training and practice to be more engaged and active in the world. And it's surprising, because to me, myself, how much will start coming out of my mouth when I start opening it and talking. And I'm not thinking about any of this. I'm not planning any of this. This is just stream of consciousness stuff. And if you'd known me during my high school life or during my teenage years and throughout my 20s, you would be surprised at how shy and introverted I was. And when you compare it to what I'm able to do now spontaneously, you would probably be like, who is this? Is this the same person? And anyhow, so that's what I want to do right now, is I want to encourage people who are shy and have been abused. You're not natural. Perhaps you are somewhat shy, but that's not all you are. And just because you've wanted to hide away, that doesn't mean, don't let that be the only thing that defines you as this shy person who can't do anything or can't talk and can't speak. If you want to become a better speaker, I would encourage you to practice by writing your thoughts down. Just start writing whatever the hell comes to your mind. Doesn't matter if it's kosher, doesn't matter if it's politically correct. Just fucking start writing, and then start practicing maybe talking to yourself, in a place where you feel safe enough that people aren't gonna jump on your back and criticize you. It's great to go out in nature and just practice talking to yourself. And then maybe try talking to a camera, because that enhances it even more. It strengthens those neurons, those connections. Anyhow, so that's what I have for you guys today. I think I'll leave it here. Been talking for about 19 minutes. I think that's a good exercise for today. This is me moving the needle forward in the direction that I want. So thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.